CBA negotiations, man, and Caitlin Clark's season. At this point, we're all sitting here waiting for the announcement that a deal is done and we can move forward with lottery drafts and, move forward to the WNBA draft and for the start of training camp, man. And so Caitlin Clark can make a return and everybody's back happy. Well, I'm here to tell you, this little small update is not a good one. You know what I'm saying? They still haven't got a deal done. The owners is pretty much kind of stuck in a wall in a corner right now with these players. ESPN has been reporting this thing for the last...
Nobody was prepared for what ESPN just unleashed. Not the league, not the players, and definitely not the ones who assumed Caitlin Clark would simply fall in line. What came out wasn't just news, it was a warning. ESPN insiders are now signaling that Clark's future may no longer be tied to the WNBA the way everyone expected. New deals, new leverage, new interests, and a 2026 return plan that could flip the entire landscape. But before we get there, you have to understand why this moment feels so explosive.
She can, all while refusing to sit down and have a meeting with Kathy Engelbert and do negotiations. Like, she literally skipped out on a meeting to go sit down with Kamala Harris and continue to bash the lady in the media, which I'm not a Kathy Engelbert fan. I think she's a bonehead. I think she needs to be fired. I believe all of that. But them refusing to negotiate is not helping anything at this current juncture. So will an agreement get signed? I doubt it.
For months, Caitlin Clark has been surrounded by nonstop tension. Fouls going uncalled, rotations shrinking, respect being questioned, while quiet conversations unfolded far from the cameras. ESPN didn't report rumors. They reported movement. Movement toward a future where Caitlin Clark no longer needs the WNBA the way the WNBA needs her. And that's where everything began to unravel. Sources close to the situation say Clark has been approached with multiple off-court opportunities that dramatically shift her leverage. Expanding endorsements, growing media roles, and contracts that don't come with swallowed whistles or minutes up for debate. ESPN made one thing clear. This is no longer just about basketball. It's about control, and the league can feel it slipping.
Agreement despite their frustrations with the process, man. Now, the current CBA agreement is scheduled to expire at 11:59 tonight. Not tomorrow, not the day after. Today is the damn day. Now, the WNBA PA opted out of previous negotiations, and which was in October. Now it goes on to say, we know what we're asking for. That was not Feature College told ESPN. We know that it's too much. Like they're saying, we know it's not too much. My bad, child, but it is too much. Aguma K stated,
when word began circulating that Caitlin Clark's 2026 plans might not include a full commitment to the WNBA, quiet panic set in. The league can't afford to lose a player driving ratings, attention, and global visibility. That's when reactions started leaking out. Engelbert reportedly said something that stunned even veteran insiders, not publicly, not on a microphone, but in a way that found its way back to ESPN sources. The message was simple and unthinkable just a year ago. Caitlin Clark doesn't need this league to define her. That line shook people because it wasn't disrespect. It was reality. And reality is dangerous when a league assumes it holds all the power. Then Stephen A. Smith stepped in. And when Stephen A. speaks, leagues listen. This time, he didn't hedge. According to him, Clark is approaching a point where stepping away from league politics could actually benefit her more than staying quiet and patient. He wasn't saying she was done with basketball. He was saying she might be done playing by their rules. That's when everything escalated.
ESPN, right here on this podcast. I've argued with Janae Ogumake, who's an outstanding basketball analyst. The two of them together, oh my God, that's an A-team. No doubt about it. Nothing but love for both of them. And Monica McNutt, one of the preeminent voices of the New York Knicks, and what she's doing with her career. They know they got my support, all love. But I'm waiting for you to say I was right. Caitlin Clark can ball. She should have been on Team USA because you needed the marketing buzz. I didn't say she was better than all 12 players that were on the team instead of her. Even though when they almost lost to France, I was getting nervous. Diana Taurasi wasn't on the court. I said, you need somebody that can shoot. And then Copper showed up and was doing her thing, and Ezra Wilson did her thing, and I was good. But what I'm saying is, if you remember, their first game, they had about 13,000 fans. Somebody else had 15. Everybody else had over 20,000 plus. You think that would happen if Caitlin Clark was on that team? You think that would happen if Angel Reese was on that team? But especially Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is coming. Some people think she's already arrived. I don't. I think she's going to be even better. And I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, Cheryl Swoops, there is no woman who should negate mentioning Caitlin Clark and what Caitlin Clark is doing for the game. I know the Monica McNutts and others were getting very, very frustrated. And
ESPN sources say league executives were furious. Not at Caitlin Clark herself, but at the narrative slipping out of their control. Once the public starts seeing her as bigger than the system loses authority. Now, add the 2026 return chatter. According to ESPN, Clark's potential return is being framed differently than anything a player has done before. Not as a comeback, not as a negotiation, but as a choice. A choice where she sets the terms. A choice where minutes aren't questioned. A choice where respect isn't optional. And that terrifies people who build careers on controlling access. Behind the scenes, it's creating fractures. Some players are frustrated, some defensive, some openly angry, because Clark's rise exposes uncomfortable truths. That exposure has bred resentment, silence, side comments, and pressure. ESPN didn't hold back. This situation has divided the league. On one side, those who recognize the business is shifting. On the other, those who feel threatened. Hovering over it all is one uncomfortable question. What happens if Caitlin Clark decides the WNBA isn't worth the cost? That question changes every conversation. This isn't about one player leaving. It's about what happens when the league's biggest drawer realizes she has options. ESPN made it clear. The league doesn't want this narrative out there, but it's already out. Fans see it. Sponsors see it. The media sees it. And now players are being forced to pick sides, whether they want to or not. Even DeFess Collier's words, never meant for public ears, ended up fueling the fire.
Because look at your numbers. You know the old saying, men lie, women lie, and the numbers don't lie. Well, I'm here to tell you, the numbers ain't lying, because Nafisa Collier is looking like Goofy of the Year. She got to be the goofiest person of the year. Her and Nika is looking like big time goofies of the year, bruh. I just gotta be honest, dog. At this point,
have given our general manager some guidance on how we're thinking, but until we get the collective bargaining agreement done, it won't be finalized as to the format or process. But you can expect, because
Stephen A. Smith's confirmation wasn't meant to reassure anyone. Together, Clark and Momentum have created something the league can't control, and Momentum doesn't ask for permission. As 2026 approaches, this story isn't about if Caitlin Clark returns. It's about how she returns and on whose terms. One thing is clear. Clark isn't chasing approval anymore. She holds the leverage and the league knows it. This situation isn't winding down. It's just getting started.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sinead.
To me,
Go ahead, Sinead.
they did it because people that fall in love with women's basketball fall in love for a different reason. They don't come to be entertained. They come to see the purity of the game. That has been consistent throughout the existence of the WNBA. Are we at a pivotal moment? Absolutely. But that moment is not a sprint. It is a marathon. And if we're thinking about marathon in the best interest of Caitlin Clark, it might be putting her in a position to make her global debut where she...
Now we want to hear from you. Is Caitlin Clark right to take control of her own future? Or is the league putting everything at risk by letting this tension escalate? If you think players should have the power, give this video a like. Share your thoughts in the comments on what you think happens next, and make sure to subscribe. The next chapter of the story could change the WNBA forever.